Well, good day, and I love you. And welcome to Tough Love with Honey. I think that's what we're going to call it. Only originally when I designed that title, it was going to be me giving you tough love. Not me having to exercise and embody tough love in order to simply show up and be present. But that's what it be today. And so I choose to embody this fun identity so that I can remember who the fuck I am as I show up to life's circumstances today. Real talk. I have explained recently in some of my posts that it's become too energetically costly for me to entertain a public persona while I'm walking through real life circumstances that require my authenticity and every bit of true capacity that I have. So I'm doing myself the fucking favor of being real when I come on here anymore. And I'm no longer forcing myself to entertain some shit and pretend that things are not the way they are, or that I don't feel like I feel. Look at that cute little girl. And to just be real with who I am, with my foul mouth. I like the F word. And I'm going to give myself that grace. Excuse me. As I clear my throat chakra. That's funny. That's such a blessed reminder. Because that's what happens to me that I'm no longer willing to deal with. I have had several times in my life where, because of the operating system that I grew up in and the operating system I ascribed to, when circumstances in front of my face, I believe, divinely, are asking for my authentic presentation and representation and participation, and yet the outside world usually interacts in this numb way where people act like what's happening is not happening, or it's not affecting them, or they're not upset, or they don't want to bash somebody or do whatever the fuck it is, you know, we all feel like. I was having a conversation last night with someone how I have every characteristic in my most authentic presentation of self of having what some dumb fuck humans call Asperger's. I call it authentic. I keep getting hemmed up today. This is going to make me want to start this video over and do it right. But guess what? I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm going to stutter and slip up on my words. And if I start snapping and clapping, I don't give a fuck. How about that? How about that? Because the truth is, authentic. What is my deal today? Authentic representation and presentation of self have never bothered me. They've bothered the people in front of me. My true bring your real shit does not bother me, does not make me uncomfortable. I'm not too much for me. But I sure am too much for others who are unwilling to feel their feelings and to let themselves be enough in the grand plan. For someone who, when you are someone who refuses to own your own self-worth, others who have allowed that they are a divine, unique spark of the almighty flame, really pissed you off. When you are on the program, because I've been here, I've literally been able to be like two different people in the same body. I was that person. I was unwilling to let myself be enough. And I was either too much or not enough. I lived in these polarities. But I was never like, you know what, you were made just right, and it's your job to figure out how the fuck that works. When I was really little, I knew that that was the right deal. And that's when I was really too much for everybody. When I would say what I thought and say how I felt and play authentically, it was too much for others. And so I learned to put it away for a really long time. I adopted this operating system where the outside world, the acceptance, the likes, the views, the approval, the validation is all so much more fucking important than the signal that streams within. And I got really good at that game. Because if you can make the outsides louder than the insides, then it's easier to tune out the signal that streams within. But the good news is, for people like me, for people that some of you others want to give labels to, that struggle to block out coherent signal becomes too energetically costly. I'm not willing to do it anymore. I'm not willing to feel at the degree that I feel and process at the level that I'm capable of processing at, and pretend that that's not the real deal in favor of assimilation with my outside environment that I think is dysfunctional at best. Ooh. So, when I put that all away for any period of time, what happens to me is it starts to manifest in my throat chakra fairly quickly. And I get locked up and I become unable to speak and unable to express myself, which is why I take leaves of absence on social media and in other ways of my life, because if I can't show up real, I won't show up. I don't fake the funk very well. I don't enjoy environments where the insides are screaming for assimilation and integration, and the voice coming out of the outside, and the persona on the outside has nothing to do with the inside. It's not even fun anymore. And so I'm not willing to operate that way anymore. I'm not willing to keep myself in an operating system that is dysfunctional at best, as I said, detrimental, more appropriately. For me anyway, at least for me, it doesn't work for me. And I've just decided that I don't give a fuck anymore what I look like to the people on the outside, because I don't want to be like the outside. It'd be one thing if what I saw on the outside, if there was this great performance going on in front of my face and humans were acting in a way that I wanted to be more like them. But no, nope, quite the contrary. For quite a few years, for quite a long time, I was searching for the woman, the persona who was behaving in a way that I wanted to emulate and embody and I wanted to be like. And I couldn't find her. I could find bits of this woman and parts of this woman, and I'd study characters from history, and I'd take the parts and put them all together and create my own persona, character. Those who know me know I do this. I create characters just like when I was a little kid. And then I play grown-up dress-up with that persona and those beliefs, which translate into my behaviors. And if I do it long enough, they update my character. And as I update my character, I create a new being and a new life. And then I'm a new focal point of attraction. And I assimilate in my environment in a different vibrational way. And I am met with the outward representation of my inner evolution And as I continue to grow in this way, I continue to love how it works, because I get to be part of my own evolution, no matter what it looks like. Well, my phone decided we were going to take a break, so I'll see if I can pick up where I left off. Basically, that is the way of it on Earth, to my understanding and experience. Earth is a free will playground, and soul comes to Earth and puts some skin on real-time issues so that we can feel them and experience them, and then we get to choose if we want to evolve from them and heal from them. But we do have to feel it to heal it. And some of us contract for multiple, for me it's been one after the other since I can remember. I've smacked skin on anorexia, bulimia, drug addiction, alcoholism, shitty ass, poor self-worth, self-depreciating behavior. I'll pimp myself out. I don't need someone else to do it. I'll sell my self-worth down the river and prostitute my energy on the way down. Just nuts. But the way it works is when I go through these things, hopefully they hurt enough. In fact, as I say this and I'm walking through, which is why I'm sharing. As they break my heart, I choose to let the belief and the behavior break with it. I'm not one to be stuck in shitty patterns anymore. I don't enjoy wrangling chaos. I understand and I know today that a beautiful, hospitable life is offered as much as I'm willing to allow it. That is the gospel truth. That is the vibrational truth. It's like a steady pour of goodness is always streaming. But it's like, for me, I teach people like this. Like, it's like an omniscient, omnipotent, ongoing, all-inclusive, omniconductive stream that just flows down like white gold light, right? Just comes down, comes down, comes down. And I can take my big old cup and go and fill it up. But what most humans do is shit like, well, my cup's kind of shitty, or what if I trip on the way up to the fill point? Or I think she looks better walking up than I do. Or I don't really know if I could deserve to have my whole cup full. And all this crap. All these bullshit programs we run because of the bullshit belief systems we adopt. And then the bullshit behaviors we embody, which create bullshit in our physical and energetic being. And most of us just pick those up from our caregivers and our environment and the systems of instruction. And we just plug them right in, like Dudley fucking do right. Be a good, diligent human. Do as you're told. It was good enough for us, so it's good enough for you. Who do you think you are? Why do you have to question everything? Oh, you just think you're so much. All these little cockamamie things that come down from older teaching, older systems that are basically just saying, I don't have the courage to question things anymore, to stand in my sovereignty and to utilize the energy freely given me so that I can conduct in higher conductivity. That's basically what they're saying. And when you question that way, it calls attention to the bullshit. You shine some light on the dysfunctional practice and believing of dysfunction. Like the regular embodiment of dysfunction, choosing to think that anxiety is more present over happiness, that atrophy is more prevalent over evolution. All of these choices to believe these stupid fucking things that aren't even really true on this planet are choices so you can So whoever embodies the beliefs can duck out, and they don't have to really be accountable for evolution, because everyday evolution and daily maintenance is fucking hard. Really fucking hard. It requires a lot of effort. It requires discipline. It requires a daily decision to show up no matter what it looks like, no matter what it feels like, and to do the fucking do. I say it like that because I have learned to do this. And at times like this in my life, if I didn't have such militant-like discipline, I would not be able to execute the mission. Because it's not fun right now. It doesn't feel inviting. My feelings are very intense in a lot of ways that will not get me the outcome I desire. Today I know that. I know that because I wrangle myself. I make myself sit in meditation. I make myself journal. I make myself talk to people. I practice a program of recovery, which is the best thing since sliced bread, truly, to me, because you can put it on anything. Because a lot of times things look unmanageable. And I do believe that there is a source capable of ultimate conductivity and understanding and connection and symbiosis and balance. The trip of the trigger is I just don't know what that looks like all the time. And in my finite human thinking, I think it's there and I feel it when I'm comfortable and when I'm fairly certain of the outcome and I have an expectation that it's going to turn out like I want it to. Then I'm like, oh yeah, God's got it. But the truth is that spirit that flows through all things either is or it isn't. No matter what it looks like, no matter what it feels like, no matter whether or not I think it's going to turn out in a way that is favorable to my liking, to my feeling. This is why I study energy and why I break these lessons down energetically. For that is how I apply energetic principles to humanity, because humans don't make sense to me. I don't make sense to me. My feelings are strong and they're intense. And when they are strong and intense, they feel like they're right and they're righteous. And I forget that they influence my chemical makeup and my biology. That when the feelings are really strong, they alter what's going on within me. And so what it feels like can be swayed one way or the other. And so energetically, when I remember that I am in a body capable of ultimate adaptation and evolution on a planet that forces it, then I can get the fuck out the way and remember that things are always moving in a way that is greater for me, no matter what it feels like, no matter what it looks like, no matter how I think it's going to turn out, or no matter how it's turned out for 150 people before me. I can go through the exact same circumstances in in a very similar, it'll never be exactly the same, but in a very similar environment. But the program can be the same, but if the input is different, then the outcome has to be. If I am a different focal point of attraction in the same system with the same circumstances, then a different output is imminent. It's important for me to remember that when things are out of my control, there is a lot that is in my control. This is a vibrational earth. This is a vibrational existence. No person taking care, I say this because it's just so out there. This is such an out there analogy, but no person who is ultimately taking care of themselves and really living a really good life is ever going to accidentally wake up in a crack house. It's not going to happen, ever. They're not like, I don't know how the fuck this happened and I woke up in a fucking crack house. Nope. It never happens like that. Nope. It just doesn't happen like that. Because those are not the same vibration. It's the same as Einstein saying that the consciousness that created the problem cannot be the same consciousness that creates the solution, or they're not going to come from the same vibration, because they have to be on different wavelengths. And so I can hold some of these things true, that it might look like it's going to turn out this way. Things might look like this. They might feel like this. However, I have so much power in how I choose to greet my circumstances today, and how I choose to see my circumstances, and how I choose to speak about my circumstances to those around me. I'm in a real interesting dynamic time of my life. How do you like those describing words for this situation? Which, by the way, I'm not trying to keep secret. I'm going to, as I said, I'm not willing to back up my own fucking throat chakra anymore. And I've always been real with all of you. For those of you who have been with me since I became the chiefess in 2013, you know that's the way I popped online. That's the way I popped on here. Real as fuck. Sharing what I walk through. And I share my experience, strength, and hope of who I am. And nothing has changed. By the way, I am the chiefess. I choose to be honey. I've learned a lot since I started all these characters. I've tried on a lot of skins. I've allowed myself a lot of evolution. And that's the moral of this share today. I choose to be honey, and I choose to walk through these circumstances consciously greeting them in a certain way, consciously speaking about them in a certain way, understanding that my evolution and my adaptation and my vibrational rising is being gifted if I allow it to be so. This is why I'm explaining energetic principle before I put skin on it. Because most often when things feel this crazy and this not okay, not fair, not fun, we say they're bad. We say they're bad. But we forget that the universe uses the path of least resistance, and that there are laws, vibrational laws, that translate into energetic laws. But there are laws of physics on this planet that absolutely apply. They don't give a fuck if you like them or not, or if you think they're stupid. They still apply. Like if you hold a beach ball down in the deep end of the pool, I give you guys this analogy all the time. If you hold that beach ball down, it's going to continue to pop up. It's going to feel like it forces its way up to the surface. It's going to pop out the water, and the minute you quit holding it down, the minute you stop holding it down, it rises. So is the way of humankind and evolution on this planet. When we stop holding it down, it rises. There is so much allowance, so much adaptation, so much evolution. I know I'm redundant with these words, but it's freely given if we step into it. The issue becomes when I greet the circumstances being given me as fucked up, unfair. Can you believe that? Oh my God, did you hear that? Did you know that? Wait till I tell you that. Right? And this is all me responding and reacting in a way that what happened to me is not for me. It's bad. Why is it bad? Because it's fucking uncomfortable. Because it was out of my control. Because I don't like the way it makes me feel. Because I don't know the outcome. Because I've never experienced circumstances like this. I've never done this shit before. Well, all of that, you put it together, popular human practice, and oh my God. You know what people say? Are you ready? This is what they say to me. I'm so sorry you're going through that. Please stop saying that. Because you know more than God. Thank you. Thank you. Let me go tell God that you're sorry that I'm going through the circumstances that God gave me. because God deemed it time, and the universe decided this is part of my evolution and what it contracted for. But let me take all those "I'm sorry what you're going through" and go back to the head honcho, and well, maybe things will change. Do you know what I'm saying? Because human finite thinking is just that, human finite framing of circumstances. Oh my God, I've never experienced this before. I have no idea how it will come out. I can tell that you're uncomfortable. It makes me uncomfortable too. So I'm going to say, I'm sorry you're going through this. Instead of, whoa, that's some fucking contrast, Heather. Jesus, you really contracted for some shiznit. How are you doing? I trust you're going to make it through. Wow, it's going to be incredible when I see you on the other side of this. Wow. You know what that is energetically? Turning the other cheek. Not doubling down on someone's demise energetically, but trusting that God's got it. And that they're showing up to do the action part of what Spirit has gifted. And that's it. That it's a gift, no matter what it is, no matter how it feels, no matter what it looks like. We get to come here in human form and fucking put skin on and experience tumultuous circumstances so that we can choose better than has been chosen before and show the fuck up in an evolutionary capacity like we haven't done before. Maybe we've never even seen it modeled before us. Do you hear that hawk whistling in the background? With the circumstances I just went through and I'm going through, and my life changing, recalibrating. Funny, as Jupiter's been in Cancer, expanding our notions and understandings of nurture, connection to self and home and nurture itself. I lost my train of thought, hold on. What was I saying? With these circumstances, there's nothing comfortable about them. I don't see the answer that makes me feel like just yet. But I trust this process so ultimately and so totally that I know today when to take my energy away from reacting in an adversarial way, meaning stop objecting to what the fuck is being gifted. Now, if I tell you that I just had my entire adult stable life put on the fucking front yard of the house that I went in to buy with someone, it doesn't feel like a gift. No, it doesn't feel like a gift. But it does present all these circumstances that if I accept and make a decision that these are circumstances gifted to me, as soon as I get my will and my action in line with that, then the whole game changes. So earlier I said, if you look at it and it looks like a shit show, but you do understand that there's some sort of greater order out there, and then you decide to make a decision to turn your will and care over to the power of this ultimate force, as I understand it, well, then it becomes manageable. And that's step 1, 2, and 3 in my program of recovery. And so today I get to practice my program and all of my affairs, and I get to show up and take right action. It's occurred to me that I've been spending the last 50 years learning the proper use of force. I've learned a lot about conquering. I've learned a lot about demolishing. I've learned a lot about denying and ducking out. And I've swung from one end of the pendulum to the other and been like, I'm going to smash you and not listen to you, to I'm going to lay as a doormat and let you walk all over me. And it's really neat to come to this center ground where I am integrating my divine feminine energy, balancing my sacred masculine energy, and meeting in the middle and I'm able to utilize, to learn, to understand, and to implement proper use of force. We go to the ground before no one but God is a line in the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous that I absolutely love, because it does not say that you lay down and go dead for anything that happens to you. It does also it also says you don't rise up in arms at anything you react to. Proper use of force. So basically, if I accept these energetic principles, that it's all happening for me, no matter what it looks like, no matter what it feels like, and I understand that that is the way on this planet, because I came as a soul in human form, put skin on, engaged in contracts, and showed up to participate in X amount of dysfunction, contracting for X amount of evolution, well, then it kind of right-sizes the circumstances. It makes it so that I can participate in a different capacity. It makes it so it's not happening to me. It's happening for me. And in that, I can show up and be my best friend. I can show up on behalf of myself and behave in ways, exercising belief systems that are beneficial for me. I don't have to avoid circumstances. I don't have to pretend they're not happening. I don't have to dull down the feeling or duck out of the feeling. I can integrate and metabolize all of this. I'm not going to blow up. I used to ask myself when I needed to duck out and drink and use drugs or go smash something, like, what was going to happen? Was I going to blow up? Was I going to, you know, like that what if? Like, if you don't calm yourself down, you're just going to fucking lose it. Like, what's going to happen? Are you going to melt into a puddle? Are you going to spontaneously implode? Are you going to explode and, like, blow into smithereens? Like, what's going to happen? It's going to happen if you just push that envelope. If you don't go get that thing and do that thing that makes you go, so you can avoid it or demolish it. I spent a lot of time there. I made myself sit the fuck in it. And so today I know I'm not going to implode. I'm not going to explode. I'm not going to put my hands on anything. I'm not going to ingest substances that make me want to, make me not participate. I'm quite capable of feeling all of this. Because the thing is, seeing my stuff on the front yard fucking did something to me. It changed me. It's not the things per se, as much as what they have represented. The woman I have become, coming from a human who used to be detained with a 0.416 blood alcohol level, walking, talking coherently, giving nutrition advice to sheriff deputy detaining me, to the woman who is capable of acquiring, of owning, of maintaining these things that create an environment for me and mine of stability and consistency. That's what my home represents to me. And to see it on the fucking front yard did something to me. Thankfully. Thank God I'm allowing myself to feel what that felt like and what that did to me. Because today I trust these circumstances, these feelings, this fundamental break from some of the operating systems I was willing to live within and to ordain and accommodate have fucking broken. And I'm no longer willing to play with chaos, regulate others' nervous systems, and play with fucking stupid like I was before. And knowing me, Spirit knew that. And it takes what it takes with me. And so today I'm going to say thank you for the evolutionary circumstances being presented me. Thank you that I've had a line and a path of evolutionary circumstances, one after the other, that I have chosen now to show up, to acknowledge, to allow, to feel, and to ultimately surrender to, so that I can subsequently let go of it. If it's not working for me, I don't want it anymore. So today I am grateful for everything that happens and the way that it happens. I'm grateful for the degree of discomfort that I am willing to show up in. It's not just that I'm capable of. Humans are capable of some crazy, heinous shit. But what are you willing to show up in? How much is too much? You know, I am willing to go to any lengths. There's no too much for me today that's going to make me want to go another way. I'm ultimately grateful for that. These belief systems, these behaviors, these ways of operating allow me to continue to show up in my own evolution, to stay sober, to practice ways of being that I desire, and to model behavior for those around me and under me that I want to model. It's very important to me today. I haven't always been this way. So for today, I am grateful. And the tough love with honey for me today is, it doesn't matter how it feels. You're going to show up with honor, with integrity, with discipline and duty. You're going to fucking do the do. Because that's what you came here for. So, I shall, and I be. As I said, I am the chieftess. I choose to be honey today because I choose to live in a way with more grace, more delicious, delightful, good taste. I want it to rhyme. And I want to be free. I don't want to war. I want to be creative me. So, thank you for being here. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you are interested in working with me privately, you can email vitalityquantumhealth@gmail.com. Other than that, love on me on social media. I receive you, I thank you, and I love you.